Football. It's Keyshawn, Jay, Will, and Zubin. We're presented by Progressive Insurance. All of our guests, including Mike Tannenbaum, the front office insider, will be here in 6 minutes, and we'll get the front office perspective on what happened between the Rams and the Lions over the weekend. But those two,
I wonder when the weekend is out to dinner or somewhere, and someone gives them the bill and says, "Thank you, Mr. Weekend." Like, is that how they? I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out how do they present.
Abel.
You know?
Right. It's like Machine Gun Kelly. You don't go up to him and say, "Hey, Colson." I believe his first name is Colson. I saw him on Saturday Night Live over the weekend. "Excuse me, Mr. Kelly, Mr. Machine Gun." It's like the same thing, right?
It was so weird to me. Because I know him as the Weekend. I don't know him as his first name. Oh, well, Anyway.
And remember, no extra E on this particular weekend. But coming weekend for NFL, we're ready to go. All right, so it should be a lot of fun here. We're ready to go for Super Bowl 55. And there's been so much talk, Key, here on why there's so much pressure on Tom Brady in this game. Obviously, at 43, how many chances do you get back? He signed for one more year. You're playing this game in your home stadium. You finally got here. You took 3 road games to get a home game. Mahomes will have so many more chances. He's just 25 years old. Every year he's been the starter. They've been either in the Super Bowl or on the cusp. But there is an argument to be made that despite all that, despite everything hanging out there for Brady, there's a lot more pressure on the kid.
Oh,
I'm just so impressed with Pat. There's one thing about the physical skill, but also how endearing he is to his teammates. You know, I could see there's a special quality about him that attracts the teammates to him. I just wanted to make sure he knew that, I don't know if it was proud, but just wanted to let him know what kind of guy that I thought he was, not just as a player, but as a person as well. He's going to be a great player in the NFL for a long time.
Thanks, Tom.
Well, yeah, and Tom.
That was nice.
Well, he's supposed to say nice things. What are you going to say? I mean, he's a quarterback. He's not going to say anything mean. The quarterbacks are friendly with each other. And so I think that when you look at it, terrific Tom knows that this kid is second to none. He's superior, and it's important for him to win this Super Bowl. Because if Tom Brady gets 7 and he has 1, it's harder to catch that 7. It's easier to get closer to 6, obviously, if you win 1. You got 2, he got 6, you get to 4, you get to, right around that number 4. You don't necessarily have to get 6 to surpass him in people's mind as the greatest quarterback of all times, given your skill set. His skill set helps him tremendously when that argument comes up 15 years from now. It'll be about his skills, about what he's able to do, no matter what the situation is. He's got 4, Tom's got 6. He may never catch Tom on the 6, but because of his skill set and how people look at you, that narrative will be set a certain way, Jay.
Yeah, no, I'm with the key. He has to win this one. If he's going to ascend to be the greatest of all time, I go back to the Jeff Darlington reference when he said he's the Michael Jordan. People have compared him to Michael Jordan for Patrick Mahomes. If you lose this Super Bowl to Tom Brady, who's 43 years old, and even if you do get to 4, this game at 43 years old for Tom Brady, even if he wins it off his defense, will forever be ingrained in the resume of Patrick Mahomes. Now, I will say this. It's interesting hearing the Tom Brady sound because Tom almost said, "I'm proud of him." He caught himself. Right? This is the old guard versus the new guard. That's why I go back to Patrick Mahomes has to take the torch and grab it and yank it away from Tom Brady in this moment to say, this league is now mine. Appreciate what you brought to the game, Tom. You're incredible. You are the GOAT. You are the legend for now. But I am on my way. I am coming.
He is coming. And you win this one, you get yourself 2, you keep Tom at 6, then you have a window of probably, 5 years, 6 years to maybe get 2 or 3 more because they're a young football team. They're not aging. They're right at that sweet spot where now all of a sudden you could take off and do some things. They're not mortgaging the future to get players because they got everybody. They can keep their picks and just pick players to replace other guys. They still have money to sign guys in free agency as the salary cap gets back to its normal stay at about 2 years because it'll take a dip this year slightly, but then it'll get back to whatever that number will be 2-3 years from now, and they'll be able to use money to sign guys because their main core of guys are already under contract. Maybe Sammy Watkins falls off their cap and they get that money to go out and sign somebody else at another position in the future. Maybe they can address the running back spot when Le'Veon Bell falls off. Then they can go pick up another backup. So it's kind of like it's a perfect time to take care of business. You don't want to be in a situation right now where you lose, because if you're Patrick Mahomes and you lose a Super Bowl, now all of a sudden things start to look different. Now the coaches start to say, who we need to replace. They start messing with the chemistry of what they built to get to the Super Bowl to begin with.
I think you make a great point. On the surface, $503 million for Mahomes sounds, obviously, it's the biggest contract in American professional sports history. But as the league gets back to normal and it starts to go up and up and up, there's going to be a day, as crazy as it sounds, where a $40 or $50 million quarterback is not going to be seen as egregious. It sounds crazy. So to have him in that stead makes sense. You lock up Travis Kelce. Clyde Edwards-Helaire's on a rookie deal. On the defensive side of the ball, you've already locked up Chris Jones. So you make a great point. On offense and defense, they've locked up a ton of guys. And the next domino to fall between Brady and Mahomes, Jay, by the way, right now, the youngest quarterback in NFL history to win 2 Super Bowls is Tom Brady. Did it at the age of 26.
Wow.
On Sunday, it could be the youngest quarterback ever to win 2 Super Bowls as quickly as possible would be Mahomes, Jay, and he would do it at the age of 25. So another opportunity in this game for Mahomes to pass Brady, at least in that impressive category.
And Zubin, I'm going to go ahead and say this. If you're watching guys like LeBron James and seeing how he's kind of moved from team to team, I'm not saying it's going to happen. But if you do feel like your window is closing with the Kansas City Chiefs, look what we're seeing Deshaun Watson do right now. I mean, potentially, Patrick Mahomes doesn't have to finish his career with the Kansas City Chiefs if he chooses not to.
Damn, you got him moving already, huh, Z?
No, I'm just saying, if it gets to a certain point in time down the road, it's feasible.
Right, we're talking about it with Aaron Rodgers, and you never know. That's the one thing about this league. Again, Mahomes versus Brady, the right choice could lead to $1 million. Right now, DraftKings is offering the 5.55 Super Bowl 55 millionaire. Your shot at the $1 million top prize awaits at DraftKings. And now, Key, after I stole Key's drink this morning, Key's hot about this. I stole Key's drink this morning. Sorry about that.
Thief.
Community fridge. Now it's time to find out if it was a steal for how the Lions and Rams pulled off a deal for Stafford and Goff, at least on one side. And let's do it with the front office insider, Mike Tannenbaum.
We already have a trade that rocked the league with implications that run beyond this deal.
Matthew Stafford is a Ram. Jared Goff is a Lion.
We always thought that this would be an unprecedented movement of quarterbacks during the offseason.
That's what the Adam Schefter said. By the way, Schefter's going to be on Greeny this morning. He put the number at 18. If that's the case, 2 down, 16 to go. And we welcome in the front office insider, Mike Tannenbaum. He joins us this morning on the Goodyear Hotline. Mike, we've been talking about this particular deal of top picks being swapped for each other a million different ways, but we haven't gotten the front office perspective, and I know that's something you can certainly give us. Take us inside from the front office, upstairs, how this deal works for both teams.
Well, let's start with the Rams side of it. Clearly they feel they can't get to where they want to go with their quarterback, Jared Goff, so they acquired Matt Stafford. I think this has a lot of risk to it, though, from the Rams. They are so top-heavy when you think about what happens if anything happens to Aaron Donald, something happens to Jalen Ramsey. They have a very, very small window. They may not even be able to keep some of their key free agents like a Ty Hill, Josh Johnson, really good players because of their cap situation. And to go 8 years without a first-round pick, in my opinion, is really irresponsible. And when you think about the skill players that Matt Stafford had in 2020, when you think about guys like Galladay, Marvin Jones, Danny Amendola, TJ Hawkinson, I think the Rams will be really good next year, but it's not a huge upgrade. So the Rams put all their chips in the middle of the table, and we'll see what happens. As far as Detroit, it's really interesting. They may have a quarterback of their future in Jared Goff, but to get 2 1s and a third-round pick, I think it's a great